Everything in this video was found on a public domain and the full disclaimers down below. Welcome to the Danger Zone. It's Ashley. I wish you lots of love and many blessings. I want to say a special thank you to Barbara. I appreciate you so much. This video is sponsored by bungalowgeneral.com. Everything from skincare to hair care and anything in between, you'll be able to find at an awesome price at bungalowgeneral.com. If you're looking for gifts for friends or family or special occasions, or even a treat for yourself, check out bungalowgeneral.com. So I was contacted from a very dear friend of mine who happens to live in Texas. She was telling me how horrible this has been with the power outages and these winter storms. Nearly 3 million customers are without power in Texas. And they're telling you in the media that it's being restored slowly, but that just doesn't seem to be the case. Those with generators and kerosene heaters and even fireplaces are not having the easiest of times finding everything they need to keep those things running. People have lost their lives in these winter storms, and something needs to happen immediately to help these people. You know, the timing of all of this is what I find most suspicious. I find it odd that Texas, of all places, is having to go through this, and especially right after they were butting heads with Biden over what? The energy and climate agenda. It was Governor Greg Abbott that said that he'll fight Biden's energy and climate agenda. He himself signed an executive order, and he said he would direct every state agency to use all lawful powers and tools to challenge any federal action that threatens the energy sector in Texas. Vowed that he would pursue an aggressive legal strategy against the Biden administration. Next thing that happens, people are literally freezing to death in Texas, of all places. Does it not seem a little suspicious? If you're familiar with my channel, you'll know I come from the Florida Panhandle, a small little place called Niceville. We butt up right to Valparaiso. And Val P butts up to Eglin Air Force Base. Both of my parents were in the Air Force. When one was stationed at Eglin, the other would be stationed at Hurlburt, right down the road in Navarre, and vice versa. I spent a large part of my childhood living on Eglin Air Force Base, and when we weren't fishing at the marina, we were sneaking a peek at the McKinley Climatic Building. We would sneak as kids inside this hangar. It's a huge hangar in dead center of this base. They could make it snow, rain, sandstorms, anything your mind can think of regarding weather, they could produce it right there in the Panhandle of Florida. It's nothing new, you guys. They've been manipulating the weather, using this as a control factor and a weapon for many, many years. I can't help but wonder if that's what's going on in Texas. It feels really weird. The timing of it is just off. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. But my friend sent me something she found quite alarming. So for the folks that are without water, which is the majority of the people in Texas without power, they're telling folks to go ahead and melt down snow. I'm not sure how they're meant to melt it down, because none of them have anything to melt it with, considering it's hard to find gas, firewood, and kerosene. But if you're one of the lucky ones, you're to melt down this snow and use it as drinking water. My friend gathered a snowball, and she took a few matches to it, and it didn't melt. It caught on fire. A couple of years ago, we found a quarter size of snow on one of the gazebos in the yard, and my son and I couldn't figure out why it was almost 70 degrees, and this little bit of snow is still here. We sure wasn't the only ones in Burke County to notice this. There was a pile at the post office that the scrapers would scrape over to the corner. It sat around till probably the end of May. There's some folks online that are trying to debunk this snow, calling it organic snow, and saying it's always just vaporized when you held a lighter to it. I don't remember it that way, you guys. I remember snow as a kid. When you held a lighter up to it, it melted, literally dripped. It did not vaporize. Do you remember snow catching on fire or melting when you were growing up? I would love to hear what you have to say about this. All things considered, do you think that this is weather manipulation down in Texas? And do you think there's something to this snow? I'm super worried about my friend and everybody else down there. Y'all, we need to say a good prayer for these people and ask God to deliver this country. We're on a downward spiral, and the worst news of it, China may have access to our own power grid. This could be not just Texas next time, but you and I sitting in the dark, feasting on plastic snow and trying to figure out a way to stay warm. We're praying for you, Texas. I'll see y'all soon and we'll talk fast. Please stay safe and be blessed.